परमं स्वभावोऽध्यात्ममुच्यते भूतभावोद्भवकरः विसर्गः कर्मसन्नितः.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self, action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities.
अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः पुरुषाश्चाधिदैवतम् अधियज्ञोऽहमेवात्र देहे देहभृतावर.
O best of the embodied beings, a physical nature who is constantly changing is called Adhibhuta, the material manifestation, the universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and the moon, is called Adhideva, and the Supreme Lord, represented as the Supreme Soul. Supreme Soul is the in the heart of every embodied being, and called Adi Yagna, the Lord of Sacrifice.
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः.
And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt.
यय्यं वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजन्त्यन्ते कलेवरं तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मर युध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting with your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me. You will attain me without doubt.
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me.
कविं पुराणमनुशासितारम् अनोरणीयां समनुस्मरेद्यः सर्वस्य धातारमचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्.
One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature.
प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्.
One who, at the time of death, fixes his life air between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga, with an undeviating mind, engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion, will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यद्यतयो वीतरागाः यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये।
Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkar, and who are great sages in the renounced order enter into Brahman, desiring such perfection. One practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation.
सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुध्य च मूर्ध्न्याधायात्मनः प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणाम्।
The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of head. One establishes himself in yoga.
ओमित्येकाक्षरं ब्रह्मा व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन् यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहं स याति परमां गतिम्।
After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combinations of letters, if one thinks of the supreme personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets.
अनन्यचेताः सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः तस्याहं सुलभः पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः।
For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Partha, because of his constant engagement and devotional service.
मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतं नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः।
After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of desires because they have attained the highest perfection.
ब्रह्मभुवनाल्लोकाः पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते।
From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are the places of desires, wherein repeat birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again.
सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम् अहर्यद्ब्रह्मणो विदुः रात्रियुगसहस्रान्तां देहोरात्रविदो जनाः।
By human calculations, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night.
अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्त्यहरागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैवाव्यक्तसंज्ञके।
At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifested state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into unmanifest again.
भूतग्रामः स एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे वशः पार्थ प्रभवत्यहरागमे।
Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated.
परस्तस्मात्तु भावोऽन्यः अव्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यः स सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति.
Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is.
अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहुः परमां गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
That which the Vedantists described as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode.
पुरुषः स परः पार्थ भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्यया यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि येन सर्वमिदं ततम्.
The supreme personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyable devotion. Although he is present and his about, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him.
यत्र काले त्वनावृत्तिम् आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालं वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ.
O best of Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world, the yogis does or does not come back.
अग्निर्ज्योतिरः शुक्लः षण्मासा उत्तरायणं तत्र प्रयाता गच्छन्ति ब्रह्मविदो जनाः.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of fiery god and the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north.
धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णः षण्मासा दक्षिणायनं तत्र चान्द्रमसञ्ज्योतिः योगी प्राप्य योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते.
The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of waning moon, or 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back.
शुक्लकृष्णे गतिह्येते जगतः शाश्वते मते एकया यात्यनावृत्तिम् अन्य अन्यया वर्तते पुनः.
According to the Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light, one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back. But when one passes in darkness, he returns.
नैते सृति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन.
Although the devotees knows these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion.
वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम्.
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Hare Krishna.
ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे अक्षरब्रह्मयोगो नाम अष्टमोऽध्यायः। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shailaja Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You chant Hare Krishna mantra very sweetly.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I will do. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama
Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Krishna
Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
मीटिंग कशी केलाई
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Krishna Mataji, unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, everybody.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Vanchai kalpataruvacha kripasindavevacha. Patitanam pavaneva vaishnavanam anant koti vaishnavindaki jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmaritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavati Pashadi Deshata Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everybody. So we begin the chapter 8. So we'll have various parts. First, we finish this chapter today. It will take time. There's a very lot of depth in this chapter. Most important point in this chapter will be how to remember Krishna at the point of death. That is the main theme of this chapter. And we'll also have a puppet show. It explains this, illustrates this. After that, if I have time, I'll take up techniques of mind control. Otherwise, we'll begin with question answers. Okay. So 7 o'clock, by 8 o'clock, I should finish the presentation. And by 8:30, whatever supplementary I can do today, 8:30 to 9, question answers. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I hope yesterday was very nice. You didn't have any problems. You enjoyed the class yesterday. Hare Krishna. Chalo. Let us start. Let us not delay. Akshara Brahma Yoga, attaining the Supreme. Arjuna inquired of my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are the fruitive activities? What are material manifestation? What are the demigod? Please explain this to me. How does the Lord of Sacrifice live in the body? In which part does it live? O Madhusudana, and how can those engage in devotion know you at the time of death. If we count, there's 8 questions. So the question comes, why did he ask this question? Because actually at the end of the last chapter, this word of Brahm, Adhyatman, Adidevam, Adi Yagnam, Prayana Kale were there. He just now, because Krishna brought out these new words for him, he's seeking clarification what these words actually mean. Okay? What is Brahman? Brahman is Jiva. The 3 words are Adhyatma, Adi Bhauta, Adi Daiva. I can explain to you together. Admins, take care of the background sound. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, take care of that background sound. Okay. So there are 3 things, Adhyatma, Adi Bhauta, Adi Deva. Just like eyes. Eyes is Adi Bhuta, it's a material manifestation which helps you see. And Adi Deva is the Devata which controls every sense we have. Just like every time we make a WhatsApp group, immediately we think who is going to be the admin. So that becomes Adi Bhuta, material manifestation is the I, the Devata controlling an Adi Deva, and you, the experiencer, using the I of the Atma. Take ears. The ear itself become Adi Bhuta, part of the material manifestation. The Devata controlling the ear really Adi Deva, and you using the ear is Adi Adhyatma. Okay, I think it is clear now. Karma means actions. Yes, everybody understand what is karma. Adi Yagna, the enjoyer of sacrifices, that refers to Paramatma. Where does Adi Yagna reside? In the heart of everybody. And how to remember Krishna at the time of death? Practice. So these are the 8 questions and answer their brief. Chapter is finished. So let us expand this now. Supreme Lord is the indestructible transcendent living entity is called Brahman, eternal nature is called the self. Action pertaining to the development of the mental body is called karma or fruitive actions. So this is what we can see. The bodies are changing. Okay, so one by one. Action. So if your activities are in devotional life, you go to the Goloka or Vaikuntha to have pastimes with the Lord. You just do some good punya, so you can go to heaven, but you still stay in the middle world and suffer birth, old age, disease, death. Or worse, you do some sinful activity like eating anything, everything, drinking, then fixed body is good. Oh, you want to embrace opposite sex right in the middle of road? Yeah, dog's body is good. They do that in the middle. So basically, by our activities, gradually our mind gets affected. Just like somebody starts smoking, we say he's a smoker. So drinking, he's a drunkard because his mind itself becomes changed. The whole personality becomes affected. You cannot jump into a dustbin and come out clean. So it is very important that I keep our life pure so that we can at least go to heaven. And if we are engaged in devotional service, go to Vaikuntha. That will be auspicious. Going below will be unfortunate. Physical nature named to be undoubtedly mutable. The universe is the cosmic form of the Supreme Lord, and I, the Lord, represented a super soul dwelling in the heart of every immortal being. Physical nature is mutable. Universe is the cosmic form. We will discuss this in Virat Rupa, 11th chapter. Our super soul is present in the heart of every living entity. Now, here is an interesting thing. A caterpillar turning into a butterfly. And in between, it becomes what is known medically or technically as chrysalis. We will discuss this in our class of science and spirituality. This raises a serious doubt over Darwin's theory. This is one of the examples because very serious doubt. How could a caterpillar enter its own grave so that it actually dies? It even throws its own head. And inside all the cells soup changes and becomes another new form called butterfly just by an accidental change. This is a very big doubt, one of the serious dilemmas in Darwin's theory. We'll discuss in our class of science and spirituality. Okay, now we continue our discussion of today. Today, the main discussion from henceforward will be how to remember Krishna at the time of death. Also today, I'll explain to you Vedic cosmology. अंतकाले च मावेव स्मरण मुक्त्वा कलेवरम यह प्रयाति समद्भावम याति नास्ति अत्र संशयः. Who at the time of death quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attained my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Here is Bhishma. And he was a great personality we all know in Mahabharata. But what people generally do not know, he was a very great devotee of Krishna, which is explained in the Bhagavatam. If you hear Bhishma Suti, we are going to recite Bhishma Suti on the 14th of January. He offered beautiful prayers to the Lord, Bhishma Suti. So you're going to hear those prayers that day with the meaning. Here, so he offered beautiful prayers. In fact, first of all, he reminded Yudhishthira, my dear Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira was very sad after the war. And Krishna tried to convince him. Vedavyasa trying to convince him. He was not convinced. So Krishna brought him to Bhishma itself. And Bhishma convinced him to rule and gave wonderful knowledge about life and also about Krishna to the Pandavas. My dear grandchildren, the personality standing here is the Supreme Lord. I hope you're not made a mistake to think he is one of your friends or relatives, the Supreme Lord himself. And he offers beautiful prayers to Krishna. So this is very pleasing if you read in the first canto of Bhagavatam, 7th chapter, Bhishma Suti. 7th or 9th. 8th chapter is Kunti Suti and touching chapter is Bhishma Suti. So whoever at the time of death quits his body, remembering me alone, what happens? Attains my nature. So like Bhishma, Prabhupada says, we should learn to die like him. But today's situation is also quite difficult. When people die, forget, the Lord, even relatives are not nearby. They'll in ICU, surrounded by huge machines, big injections. Very difficult. How to remember God? Just imagine the situation, will full of fear. Our Acharya Prabhupada, they asked him, what's your last wish? He said, when I'm at the moment of death, don't take me to the hospital. And he requested, in fact, last 6 months he was in Vrindavan. There was continuously devotees did kirtan around him. And till the last breath, he was instructing his disciples and also translating Bhagavatam. It's unimaginable. So he preferred that kind of leaving the body with devotees doing kirtan and remembering the Lord. So anyway, that's a great help. We all face the situation at our homes, an elderly person will leave the body. Please do Nama Sankirtana, so it will be easy for us. Ahani ani bhutani gachanti hayavalayam shesha stavaram ichanti kimasharam ataparam. Hundreds of thousands of living entities meet death at every moment, but a foolish living entity none thinks himself deathless does not prepare for death. Is the most wonderful thing in this world. This was spoken by Yudhishthira. And what happens once some situation in Yaksha, his 4 brothers are almost dead. And Yaksha says, you will die unless you answer these questions. Otherwise, these boys and their brothers are not coming back alive. Okay, I can answer questions. What are the questions? He is son of Yamaraj. He knows everything. So what are the questions? So the question is, what is the greatest wonder in this world? Oh, this is the greatest wonder. Everybody is about to die, but he thinks he will never die. Aha, this is the greatest wonder. Left, right, center, we see death, but you think, I am not going to die. And we know not only we do that, neither we prepare for death. This is very instructing information. Yam yam vapi. So this was an important shloka that if you remember, Mam Eva, please note it. Krishna says me only. You look at the translation, me alone. He has not said here anything else. So as far as you see Gita is developing, Krishna is asking for exclusive devotion to him. Why? We will discuss that, but Krishna is continuously asking. And the last shloka of Sarvada Dharman Parityaja, Mam Eva. Mam Eka. Me, Eka means one. Mam Ekav Sharam. Just take only my shelter. Why? We will discuss that. What does it mean? Yam yam vapi swaran bhavam tosde ante kalevaram tam tam eveti kaunteya sadata bhavo bhavitaha. Whatever you remember at the time of death. So if you remember God, you go back to God's kingdom. But if you get lost into something else, then you have to take birth in the material world. Now, in this extent, I'll explain you the story of Bharat Maharaj, who was a great king, left his kingdom quite young, handed over the throne to his child, came to the forest, is doing spiritual activities. But then he sees a mother deer. You can say he saw the mother deer standing here and was drinking water. Suddenly a tiger roared and she jumped across a stream to save the life. And in the fear, their premature delivery, the child fell down. And the mother ran away and somewhere died, never came back. And the child was in the water, uncared, unprotected. Bharat Maharaj was doing his worship of God here. He was chanting God's name, offering something to the Lord in Yagna. And he was feeling compassion to the small child. He came and picked it up, you see, brought it to his ashram. But something very unfortunate happened. He left his spiritual practice. He was only absorbed in playing around with the deer. Not only so, the deer became like his child. And the deer goes to the forest, he used to go behind him to see whether the tiger doesn't eat him. Almost became mad. And the deer had nothing to do with him. He's running here and there, he's running behind the deer. Can you imagine the joke? And then what deer has to do with him? That deer used to not come back only because he's had his own life. He has done. Thank you. Now you do your life, and I'm on, you have your own life. You leave me on my own life. But he doesn't want. He's running behind the deer whole day, trying to protect the deer. And in that stops with all spiritual practices. And unfortunately, one day, and the deer never comes. And searching from the deer in the dead darkness, he falls in the mountain, thinking of the deer and dies. And next life becomes a deer. Just imagine the joke. And when it becomes a deer, but Krishna is compassionate upon him because he is actually spiritually very advanced before he went into this foolishness. So Krishna doesn't forget that. So Krishna gave him memory of what all happened. The deer's body, he somehow passed his days. He used to, moment he could walk, he ran away to an ashram. So he used to be seeing spiritual activities in the ashram. And the next life, he got a human birth, which is rare. From deer body, you don't come to human body immediately. There are so many births in between. So he finally got a human birth at the concession straight after that. And there in that body, he became totally silent. And the Bhagavatam refers to him as Jada Bharata, Bharata who never spoke, totally silent. And then later in his life, he gave instructions to King Rahuguna, which are chapters and chapters of instruction are recorded in Bhagavatam. Very great king, very realized soul. But the lesson he taught that if you are careless, you play with spiritual life, you'll be punished by material nature. Okay, so we have to focus on the Lord. Whole life is the preparation. So Krishna is saying, therefore, tasmat means therefore, after hearing this thing, that whatever you think at the time, it will your body accordingly. Therefore, sarveshu kaleshu means all the time, ma manusmara, always think about the Lord and fight with the chair. Therefore, my request really, at least whenever you sit in your room, put a soft, this I have given you the Prabhupada bhajans. You can download from ISKCON site various bhajans. Keep playing that. You feel peace. And the best of all is bhajans by Srila Prabhupada, the great devotee. Unparalleled in his service in recent history, nobody has done like him. Has spread the Krishna consciousness so widely. Great devotee. You hear his bhajans, is very, very pleasing to the heart. That's what I do. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu. Therefore, in all the situation, mam anusmara. Krishna is saying, think about me and fight. Don't think about deer, cat, dog. Think about me and fight. Mai arpita mano buddhi ma evasyasham seha. With the activities dedicated to me and your mind intelligence fixed on me, mano buddhi, fixing your mind and mano buddhi on me, what will happen? Is definitely come back to me. You will attain me without doubt. So that's the conclusion of this chapter till now. You should think about the Lord all the time. So even you fight Arjuna, you cannot forget me and fight. So you should have that kind of capacity to think about Lord and fight, which is not easy. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanegamina paramam purusham divyam yati partha anuchintaya. So we have to do abhyasa, we have to do practice. It will not come on its own. We have to practice. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanegamina paramam purusham divyam yati partha anuchintaya. Now here we come to a very interesting story of the story of Ajamila. Ajamila was a very gentleman Brahmin at the early part of his life. And he had so many qualities. Bhagavatam had a list of them. He was very gentle, very respectful, very kind, very affectionate. Whatever you can make list of, he had all qualities. And then he was kind of pride of the whole town. And his father was the chief priest of the whole town. Kannauj, Kannakubja, Kanpur. Place is also mentioned. Not today, it's an old history. mentioned in Bhagavad. It's rare what happened to him. Therefore, it is mentioned. Today, it's common. So then what happened? One day his father told him, my dear child, go to the forest and bring some flowers. So he goes to the forest. And when he's bringing some flowers for the puja at home, something very unfortunate happens. He's also noticed the white dress. White dress in Vedic culture generally means a grahastha, family person. He's a family person, young married wife. He has everything at home. So gone to the forest and he hears a sound. A girl and a boy laughing. So he thinks, I don't want to get involved in this. Let me get flowers and go. But somehow, unfortunately, great misfortune, he played with fire. Nothing happened to me actually. I just want to see who are the two people. I'm curious. I'm just curious. That's all. We got lost into any sinful activity because of curiosity. So he becomes a bit curious. And there he peeps from behind the tree and he sees the two people involved. That's the prostitute and that man. I knew both of them in a small town. People know everybody. What are they doing? It's not good, responsible activity. And he's coming back. So it's almost on the way back. Oh, one more minute, I want to watch. Nothing will happen to me. And he succumbs to that foolishness. He comes back to watch one more minute, one more minute, one more minute, and that's why he gets trapped. Dhyayate vishaya pumsa, sangasteshu pajayate, sanga sanjayate kama. Oh, this prostitute is so beautiful, actually. And then I can also enjoy with her because she's a prostitute. I can also pay. I heard about her. I didn't know she's so beautiful. I can't live without her now. I love her. I love her. Kama krodha vijayate krodhat vapit samoha samoha smiti vibramaha. Samoha. Actually, the painting is made in the state of samoha is either lost now. He's losing his memory, then intelligence, then he becomes crazy. He comes back home, his mind is torn. Oh, what I saw today, I can't live without it. I love her. It's all that stupidness. I love. So then what happens is that his father, mother, all these movies you hear that love is same. Nothing more than this. As base as is Ajamila's love. And we are so stupid to watch those nonsense movies. We have no time to hear about pure love of the Lord. We have a time to hear all these lustful activities. And then what is the company? You make company of these people, what will happen to us? Like Ajamila, our minds also get disturbed. And then we imagine Ajamila was actually trained in brahmacharya, trained as an honest grahastha in a Vedic culture, so many samskaras and different time. He collapsed. What's the condition today? So we also play with fire like this and we get burned then. And then Ajamila could not hold his mind. And then he told his wife, say, I think you need a servant. So what? I think you need a servant. You're working so hard. She was surprised. I need a servant. I'm quite comfortable. And he goes out and talks to the prostitute. I love you. Hey, Ajamila, what happened to you? You've gone mad or what? I am a local prostitute in this town. Why you come? You should not even come here. No, I love you. I will commit suicide if you don't come to my house. What you'll do? No, you stay with me. I love you. My love is true. This is true love. Mera pyar sacha hai, the rubbish they sing. Mera pyar sacha hai. I love you. Says, Ajamila, please take care of yourself. You are a married person. You are committed to a relationship. No, I love you. I love you. Please come. I love you. She said, see, I'm a drunkard, gone crazy. No, please come. She said, okay, so every day you have to pay me. Say, today is 10,000 rupees. I'll pay you, so easy for us. We are so rich. People give any dakshina you want. People love me so much. Really. I'll get 10,000 per day. Yeah. Then that's great. I don't have to look around for a customer every day. That's great. And then my drinking, you'll get me liquor. I'll get you and I'll also drink with you because I love you, I love you. And then he brings this prostitute home. Somehow she said, okay, that looks like convenient life for me. And she comes there and then tamasha happens in the house because wife, he got shocked. What is this? Who is this lady? It looks to be something strange, the kind of a lady. They didn't recognize her immediately. But after a few days, her wife and Ajamila's father, mother know what's happening. Then they have a big meeting. And they call this Ajamila. And they said, Ajamila, what's all going on? So father said, this cannot happen in this house. Papa, I don't know what's your problem. I love her. Mera pyar sacha hai. And then this girl also, wife also comes. She said, if you want to do this to me, why did you marry me? Why you're destroying my life like this? And Ajamila's mother, poor mother in the hole, she holds the head of the son. My dear child, what happened to you? Please, I request you, behave sensibly. Mother, I don't know what's wrong with all of you. I love her. The wife says, I cannot stay in this house. She goes to the parents' house to cry for the rest of the night. Father, mother, they pray to the Lord Narayana. See, we served the whole life. This boy was also a great servant. Only one a prayer we have. Please save this our child. He's gone crazy. With that prayer, they left the house. And they have no place to stay now. And here and there, shelterless, they died after some time. Same Ajamila's wife also cried rest of the life. And the Ajamila from the prostitute had 10 children, so one after another, one after another. And you see, he slipped maybe the age of 20, a young boy that time, till 88 years, 68 years of his life is gone, totally gone. And first day he went out for collection, next day to collect donation. Who will give him donation? Who will give him donation? Because the whole town has come to know, people are spitting at him. Pooh, shameless person. And then he doesn't get money, but mera pyar sacha hai. So he goes to gamble to get money to maintain the prostitute. It's sacha pyar. And the gambling, first day he wins, but next day you're not going to win every day. Then he starts stealing. So from being such a pious boy, became a rogue in the whole town, doing stealing, plundering, everything possible on earth to maintain the prostitute and her drinking habit. He also became drunkard and became totally degraded. And then there was in this whole course, I don't know if you have a situation like that, whenever we are in difficulty, one person does not spit on us. That is the Lord. Lord never spits on anybody. You may go to the most abominable species. Krishna is still sitting in the heart with a merciful look. How to save him? Krishna is not sentimental, but at the same time is very merciful. And somehow Lord gives him, because he was a great servant of the Lord in the childhood, Krishna inspires him. Some people say that a Brahmin came to his house and inspired him. Somehow the Lord inspired him to name him the last child, Narayana. And now the last child named in Narayana, always we are affectionate to the youngest child. He is 88-year-old. And a small child he has in home, say 3-year-old. And he a whole day saying, Narayana, come here. Narayana, how are you? Narayana, did you eat something? Narayana, how's your mother today? Is everything fine? Narayana, 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 Narayana. Whole day, night he's chanting the name of Narayana somehow. And the holy name starts calming his mind. But mind has become so degraded that he could not even think about his parents. The mind so degraded, he broke his promise to his wife. The mind so degraded that he did every sinful activity on earth. The same mind started calming down. And then Yamudutas came and they caught him and they were dragging him, the time of death to hell. And Chitragupta had kept basically an encyclopedia ready. As so many vessels are ready to, burn him in hot oil, to heat him, beat him with sticks at all. Hell punishment is ready. Practically every hell they are waiting for him. There are 2 dozen hells. Everywhere they are waiting for Ajamila. They have instruments ready, kicking ready, everything ready. And here Yamututas have come to take him. And Yamaraj also probably wants to see this fellow Joker. But here it is, something surprising happens. The moment the Yamutas catch him, with tears in his eyes, he loudly calls, Narayana, save me! Now what is Narayana going to do? Narayana decides, out of his own free will, to give him a second chance. Because with tears in his eyes, the loud chanting is not. Acharyas differ on the conclusion. Some acharyas say, actually, now he remembered Narayana. Some acharyas, no, he never remembered Narayana. He was still thinking of the child only. Whatever it is, he chanted with tears in his eyes, Narayana. And immediately, to surprise everybody, Vishnudutas landed up. Beautiful servants of the Lord landed up there. You can see the four Vishnudutas on the right hand side. They landed up. And they said, you cannot do this. You cannot take him here. The Lord has given him a special opportunity. You please leave him here. Opportunity to whom? Who are you anyway? Generally what happens when somebody dies, either Yamudutas come or Vishnudutas come. Both don't land up. They generally don't see each other. Here the funny case is, yes, we say just read. At the time of this, remember Lord, yes, remember Lord, after the Yamudutas have come. So both are there. Now what to do? So they say, no, he has chanted the name of Narayana. He is washed of all sins. They say, what is this? He was sinning and chanting. He was not calling for the Lord. He was chanting his son's name. He was sinning, chanting. What this bum? He has to be punished. We can't leave him. They threaten, you don't leave, we'll punish you severely. Get out of this place. So they can't fight Yamudutas, Vishnudutas. Vishnudutas are holding all Shankha, Chakra, Gada. You cannot fight with them. So they are so beautiful. They say, you all look so beautiful. As you have come from Vaikuntha, who are you actually? So they go away and they come tell to Yamaraj, it's all happened. Yamaraj says, no, hey, these are Vishnu Dutas, they are all powerful. So never fight. And my instruction, never go to devotees again. So anyway, that's a separate story. Now Ajamila then gets up from the bed and he heard the big debate held between Yamudutan and Vishnudas. And Yamudutas recited his whole life what all it did. As a pious Brahmin, he got degraded in so many sinful activities. And Ajamila heard all that. And he heard the instruction of Vishnudutas that Lord has approved his mercy petition. He is to be given a second chance. Ajamila feels very grateful to the Lord, falls the feet of Vishnudutas who disappear. And now Ajamila walks from his bed, goes to the Haridwar. He leaves his whole family. He's only 88-year-old. And alone in that place, very sincerely, he takes shelter of a temple and starts chanting the name of the Lord very, very sincerely, with repentance and with tears of repentance and tapasya. Even before in the house, before leaving, he curses himself again and again for what he did. Shame on him, what I did. Shame on me. I did this to my man. Like that, he is crying and sincerely repents and comes to the holy place and engages for a long time, sincerely chanting the name of the Lord. And finally, something happens. Vaikuntha Vimana comes to take him back to Krishna Loka. Now, this story has been recounted in the Bhagavatam itself, one of the topmost literature. In the context of the fifth canto end, Bhagavatam talks about hell. So Parikshit Maharaj, when he hears the discussion of hell in the last chapter of fifth canto, in the sixth canto, says, my dear spiritual master, the suffering is very intense. Is there some way we can avoid hell? Somebody can be saved from hell. So Shukamuni says, yes, somebody can be saved from hell if it does prayashita. But he said, my dear Gurudev, I have seen people, prayashita is like somebody does a crime, I put him in the jail. That's also prayashita. But I see that after we have withdrawn him from the city, put in the jail, beaten him up for his sinful activities, he goes back to city again, does the same crime. It is like an elephant bathing, doesn't work. So next thing Shukamuni says, then he can cultivate knowledge about the sinful activity and not do. But then Shukamuni himself says, that will also not help. It's just like a tree, when you cut the tree, the roots are still there. The moment the opportunity comes, the trees will come back when the rain falls. And then Shukamuni says, Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayanaha agam dhanvansikasena niharame bhaskaraha. Somehow, Kechit, if somebody takes a devotion service to the Lord, from the root, from the core of the root of his heart, he can wipe out the sinful activity. So true, sometimes it looks surprising why the Lord gave so much mercy to Ajamila. That is a separate issue. The Lord can decide what he wants to do. But for us, we should see the Lord does not spit at us at any situation. If there is a hope, there's hope is there. Lord is very, very merciful. And we can, Kalyuga, take a second chance. And Prabhupada named the book on Ajamila as second chance. He wrote a separate book because he said this is very important, Ajamila Vakhyana Bhagavatam. Because we are all in a situation like Ajamila. being bombarded by sense gratification in Kali Yuga, we do slip here and there. At the same time, Krishna is ready to give a second chance, provided we sincerely take shelter of the holy name and chant the name of the Lord, like Ajamila chanted Narayana name and later sincerely practiced the chanting of the name of the Lord. So now hope is there for all of us. If we're provided, take up the opportunity. Krishna forgave Ajamila, but how many times we want forgiveness? We also take opportunity. He did not plan. Ajamila did not plan he will do this. Somebody asked after this Leela, maybe I can also do like this. Whole life I'll do sin on sin on sin on sin. At the time of that, loudly chant Narayana. You cannot cheat like that. Ajamila did not plan like that. He slipped and fell and slowly picked himself up. But you cannot plan. Just like you're a teacher, when a student tells a lie, how is he late? If you know he's telling a lie, you will never pardon him. You pardon somebody when genuinely there is a situation. Okay. One should meditate on the Supreme Person, the one who knows everything as he who is the oldest, who is the controller of the smallest, who's better everything. He is beyond our mental conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun and being transcendent is beyond the mental nature. So meditation on Krishna, you see how beautiful the picture is. He is a person. God is a person, not light, energy, something funny things. I don't know why people avoid personality of God. Who knows everything, is the oldest, whose control is smaller than the smallest. Who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all mental conception. And here are the Devatas all taking shelter of Krishna. Here is Brahma. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Brahma is taking shelter here. All the Devatas he has gone. Pray because Bhudevi is in trouble. There are a lot of demons on earth. So Brahma has gone to pray to Vishnu, Narayana. And that's what all the Devatas do. They offer Pushrupta prayer. Om Tada Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya. Similarly, Lord Shiva is also here taking shelter of Lord Krishna and offering his prayers. And here Krishna is continuing, Mamupetya Punarjanma Dukhalem Ashas. Take my shelter. Punarjanma will not happen. Because Punarjanma is the greatest problem in this world. Because moment birth is there is old age, disease, and death. The soul taking Punarjanma is biggest disaster. Mamupetya Punarjanma Dukhalem Ashashatam. Where Punarjanma? This world which is temporary, Ashashatam and Dukha, full of misery and temporary. Who wants to be here unless he's a fool? Napnuanti Mahatmana Samsiti Paramam Gata. So person with intelligence takes shelter of Krishna and goes back to Krishna, the world, and not the place world which is temporary and full of suffering. Or highest planet in metal world down to the lowest. Abrahma Bhumna Loka Punar Avato Arjuna Mamupeti Konteya Punar Janmana Vidyate. From the highest planet to the lowest planet are the places of misery where repeated birth and death takes place. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. This is the Sahasra, thousands of ages taken together. I have given his calculation, the fourth chapter. Brahma's day has some calculations. 1,000 ages together form 24 hours of Brahma. Form 12 hours of Brahma. That is 4.32 billion years. Night also is similar, 4.32. One day become 8.64 billion years. Every day in the morning, evening, Brahma before takes to sleep, almost, not fully. He doesn't destroy his bed, at least where he has to sleep. Destroys almost the whole universe, almost. And then take rest, and he gets up again, creates. So that's so easy for him. So every night of Brahma, there is a pralaya. So you want to stay in this world, which is repeatedly destroyed and created, destroyed and created. And finally, one day Brahma dies, everything is destroyed. But beyond this temporary nature, which is destroyed, created, destroyed, we want eternity, because soul is eternal, it wants eternal world. Soul is Satchidananda, it wants to be in a place which is all Satchidananda. That's the spiritual world. Sat means eternal, full of knowledge and full of happiness. See the spiritual world. And Krishna and Narayana with Lakshmi and all the devatas are offering services. Yet there parastasmad bhavo anyat vyakta avyakta sanatanaha. That's the shloka, 20th shloka. Parastasmad bhavo anyat. There is another manifestation, another nature, paras, which is eternal, transcendental to the metal, manifested and unmanifested. Vyakta avyakta. What is manifest to you and not manifest to you, sanatanaha. It's the eternal world. That's the eternal world of kingdom of God, where Shastra is pushing us to go. There is more discussion of that in this Bhagavad Gita chapter, but detailed discussion of that comes in Bhagavatam. That is Vedanta describe unmanifest and infallible, that is known as supreme destination, that place from which having attained in one never return, that is man's supreme abode. I'll also give you a brief narration of what is known as Goloka chart. I think admins will share with you today the Goloka chart. You can study that, or I can explain you in brief. This is based on Srimad Bhagavatam and Brahma Samhita, Bhagavad Gita. We have developed the whole cosmos. This is called Krishna Loka. This is the highest place in the Vaikuntha. It's like the sun. Vaikuntha planets are like the planets around the sun. Unlimited Vaikuntha planet around a beautiful planet, spiritual planet called Vaikuntha. Here, this is called, Goloka. In Vaikuntha, there is a special place called Goloka. In Goloka, nobody knows Krishna is God. He makes them forget by his own supreme power. Just like Mother Yashoda used to play with Krishna. She's the greatest devotee of Krishna, but Krishna makes her forget. So in the Goloka, the highest Leelas are Radha Krishna Leelas and other Madhurya Leelas of the Lord. And then you can see these Leelas here all around. You can see the different Leelas. Madhurya Leelas form the first three circles, and then there is Vasali Leela. You see Mother Yashoda playing next to Madhurya. Then Sakya Leela, Krishna playing with his cowherd friends. Then you can see this is the devotees chanting and dancing. There's a Lord Chaitanya with his devotees. This is Goloka. And here Krishna expands to Balaram, and Balaram expands to four features, which are known as, if you can see that, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. And here is Ayodhya Dham. It comes between Goloka Dham and Vaikuntha Dham, because here also Lord is two-handed. And there is more intimacy than what is there in Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha, the Lord is here. There is respectful distance kept from the Lord. He's in a very worshipable mood, just like judge in office. And the Lord, all the energies of the Lord Narayana are serving him. Here again, Lord expands to four features: Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. And the Sankarshana here, second Sankarshana, he expands to Karnodakshya Vishnu or Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu, when he wants to create, the Lakshmi gets understands by indication. She expands to Durga. Durga means Maya. She is Durga, head of the kingdom of Maya. And all the living entities Vishnu wants to give to Maya. But in between Vishnu's one expansion comes called Shambhu, because Shiva will father living husband of Durga, not Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu's expansion, Shiva is the expansion Lord Vishnu only, but it's like Shiram Yathadadi Vikara Vishesha Yoga. Just like milk turns into curd. It is milk. Curd is milk only, but not milk. And you cannot make milk out of curd, but you can make curd out of milk. And because Lord Shiva gets involved with Maya, illusion, energy, it's like a bulb in which little soot covers. So the original power of Vishnu is slightly reduced. So Shiva is almost Vishnu, but it is not given the same status as Vishnu because it involves in the metal energy. And then here is the kingdom of Maya. The pores of the body of Vishnu, the universes are coming out. This is how the Vedas talk about creation, not the nonsense, funny explosion. From where explosion occurs. And then each of the particle of the universe get covered by metal energy, which is also known as Mahatattva. And that's why you see that each universe has various layers: earth, water, fire, air, ether. And in each universe, this Karnadaksha Vishnu, all of the Mahavishnu, lies down on Anantashesha bed with Lakshmi messaging his feet. And from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Brahma is born. And Brahma doesn't know what to do. He is given instruction by the Lord, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, how to create. And based on the knowledge derived and taught by the Lord, he creates a material manifestation. And the 14 planets, these are not twisted like this, but just to give an example, 14 planetary systems are created by Brahma. From the material he gets in the stem. And then Lord also expands the Shirodaksha Vishnu, was expansion. Now, Kshirodaksha Vishnu has his own planet where I saw your Devatas were gone and they were praying. And at the same time, he enters, Kshirodaksha Vishnu enters everybody's heart as Paramatma. So this is in very brief. This takes actually detail. If you want, we have made videos on YouTube. You can see the videos, 4 or 5 hours of videos explaining the Vedic cosmology. But here in brief, I explained to you. Okay. Hare Krishna. Give me a few more minutes. The chapter is almost done. So you have an opportunity to go to the spiritual world. This is Shanta Rasa, to relate to the Lord as, you know, this cows, as a Shanta Rasa, or as this is Vatsala Rasa. The different beautiful rasas you can relate to the Lord. And there's a beautiful prayer, the great Acharya, Kulashekar Alva, that my Lord, can I leave the body in youth so that I can utter your holy name from my mouth. In old age, my mouth may be stuck up because, you know, so much phlegm of old age. So please let me leave the body now. And the last shloka of this chapter, Vedeshi Yagnesha Tapasya Chaiva. If you chant the Vedas, you do yagna, you do some tapasya, you do dana, you do punya, all these things you do, do not worry. When you take your devotions to the Lord, all the result is given to you. Person who accepts the path, the devotional is not bereft of the result derived from studying the Vedas, performing austere sacrifices, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and freedom activities. At the end, he reaches the supreme abode. Now, there is one thing also remaining for me to show you something. A puppet show. That puppet show was made by devotees and you will love it. That puppet show is called Puppet Show on Ajamila.
Long ago, there was a young Brahmin named Ajamil, who was a reservoir of good qualities. Ajamil always controlled his mind, never spoke frivolous words, and was a faithful husband to his young wife. Mild, truthful, humble, and well-behaved, he would dutifully go and pick fruit, flowers, and kusha grass each day in the service of his elderly mother and father.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo. What is that horrible singing? Oh, that lusty Sudra embracing a prostitute. Terrible. Most improper. Intoxicated in public. Most improper.